Welcome back to another WhoScored.com Premier League preview. The Premier League games keep on coming and they don't get much bigger than Liverpool hosting Manchester City at Anfield this weekend. I'm your host, Dan Worth, and joined as ever by Ben McAleer. Ben, give us your initial thoughts on Liverpool versus Manchester City.
Usually, this would be like a real title decider. But Man City just looks, they've fallen off a cliff, really. 5 defeats, 1 draw, and that 1 draw within 3-0 up in the 75th minute and still throw away. It just seems completely set up for a Liverpool win. Usually it would have huge ramifications, but Liverpool could go 11 points clear of Man City with a win. So it's just a very exciting game to look forward to. So a proper Super Sunday fixture.
It really is. I don't know if I've ever gone onto WhoScored.com, gone onto the Manchester City page and clicked on it, and there's no wins on there. Like, that's wild to me. It's incredible what's going on at Manchester City. You do have to wonder how long it could go on for, but whenever I think about that, I get the Mick McCarthy meme in my head where it's like, it can't go on for much longer, Mick, can it? It's like, oh, it can. And it doesn't get much more difficult than Liverpool away, who are obviously storming it this season. They're top in the Champions League. They're top of the Premier League. I know the obvious question here is, like, if Liverpool do win and more importantly, City lose, are they out of the title race?
Probably not. I know it's a big gulf to make up, but Liverpool showed against Southampton there is some weakness there. It's just a better team than Southampton would have exploited that. Liverpool also have the main moments man at the moment with Mo Salah, but you can't rule City out. They always go on this unbelievable run where they win every game in front of them. They turn back into this juggernaut. And we saw Arsenal a couple of years ago with our top 4 basically the entire season and still throw it away. Liverpool could do the same. I'm not saying that will happen, but it's impossible to rule City out even in this current form that they're in.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think we've already spoken about this actually on another one of these, but the key thing for me is just the amount that Man City are conceding. Like, if you look, obviously conceded 3 against Feyenoord, 4 against Tottenham, 2 against Brighton, 4 against Sporting Lisbon in their last 4. Like, that is massive alarm bells for Pep Guardiola and for any Manchester City fan. Now, there's definitely loads of reasons why they're conceding more goals. But one thing that's been on social and is proving more evident is Kyle Walker, who appears to have lost, that edge, the bit of pace that he had that meant that he was one of the best defenders in the world. He seems to no longer have that. What do you make of his current form?
I completely agree about that. He's lost that yard of pace, and as soon as you lose that for a player of Kyle Walker's caliber, where speed is his main asset, then he looks a very average defender. He's been outpaced by Adama Traore, which admittedly basically every player is outpaced by Adama Traore, but he just looks really cumbersome, trying to track back to catch Werner. Admittedly, it was very late on in the game. Werner had come on with fresh legs. Walker probably exhausted from another sort of high-octane game. But even so, it's one of those where it's like Kyle Walker is really showing his age here. And it's remarkable that Man City didn't really look into sorting right back in the summer. I mean, admittedly, they do have Rico Lewis who can play there. Rodri's injury didn't help matters, nor does Kovacic's injury. But you feel like they're going to go all out for a right back before too long, be that next in January even or in the summer. But Kyle Walker's best weapon is essentially gone now. Yeah,
for sure, and it's actually quite crazy to see how quickly the drop off has been. Like, I felt like he was pretty good in the summer, and now he seems to be getting dribble pass and ran past quite frequently. Interestingly, this is his worst rated Premier League season, 6.36. Well, there is one season that's worse rated for Tottenham, but he only played 3 minutes in that season, so I think we can discount that one. 6.36, yeah, like it just goes to show how much the drop off has been. You mentioned there in your spiel about maybe looking for a replacement in January. What do you think? Well, I mean, aside from the right back, I guess, because you kind of already covered that. Who do Man City need to bring, or which positions do they need to prioritise to kind of get back on track in their title hunt?
Definitely centre mid. Even before Rodri's injury, they needed another sort of body in there when they lost Phillips. I know Phillips was never going to, consolidate a starting spot for Man City, but when you bring back Gundogan at his level now, you're relying on Kovacic, who has had his injury history. It was a position that they needed to strengthen, and they didn't properly. They needed some proper cover for Rodri. So it wouldn't surprise me that if they go out in January and buy a new centre mid, be that Bruno Guimaraes, who they've been linked with, or Martin Zubimendi, who did obviously replace Rodri in the Euros final. I feel like that's a priority position for them. You can get them put Lewis back to right back, and that masks the Walker deficiencies until the summer. But they just need a new centre midfielder.
Yeah, I can't find any fault in that. I think they definitely do. And to be fair, Man City are the kind of team that can go into the market and almost cherry pick exactly who they want, regardless of cost. So I have no doubts that they probably will do that, and they probably will do it quite shrewdly. So that's also why I'm with you, and I wouldn't write off City's title hopes, even if they are to lose here, because, well, we've seen it before. It wouldn't surprise us if they do go on an absolutely massive run. Let's have a quick chat about Liverpool. I mean, there's not loads to say other than they've been fantastic this season under Slot. But one of the key points after a huge midweek performance is Kelleher versus Alisson. We've had this before, but I think it's worth touching on again. What does Kelleher have to do now to become number one? Because he's been fantastic whilst Alisson's been out.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those where when Alisson's been injured, it's like, well, it's Kelleher's chance to impress, and he does that week in, week out. They're signing Mamardashvili in the summer, and when Alisson does return, I imagine it's going to be next week. Does he walk straight back into the team? And as good as Alisson has been, as arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if not the best goalkeeper in the world, it's impossible to drop Kelleher in this current form at this time. He's just, again, been absolutely sensational between the sticks. And you feel like now the Liverpool are at a bit of a crossroads with their goalkeepers. Do they bring Alisson back in, but then you upset the apple cart and Kelleher want out? I mean, they have got another goalkeeper coming in next summer. So it's a selection headache for Arne Slot. Admittedly, not every team in the world has two world-class goalkeepers with a third joining in the summer to be able to cherry pick their goalkeeper. But in this current form, you can't see Alisson walking back into the team.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad issue to have, is it? Like, with all of that at your disposal. One of the mad things for me, obviously saved the penalty from Mbappe in midweek. He saved 3 out of 4 penalties that he's faced this season, which 75% is ridiculous. I almost wish he was English so he could come in for the penalty shootouts in the World Cup. But there we go. Right, let's have your score prediction, Ben, for this huge clash.
Form sometimes does go out the window in these games, but Liverpool do have a really good home record against Man City, and I think they're going to continue that and win 3-1 on Sunday.
Nice. I completely agree with you that I think this is a Liverpool win here. I'm not sure by how many, but I do think they concede. I'll go different to you. I'll go for 2-1 to Liverpool. Right. Let's move on to our bet builders as we do every week. A reminder for anyone who's been watching them, and a nod if you haven't, that we are referring to the WhoScored.com bet builder tool here, which allows you to compare your bet builders amongst the best bookmakers in the UK, and will identify value and give you the best price in a matter of seconds. So it's well worth using, and Ben is going to take it away and show you just how big those discrepancies can be. Go for it, Ben.
Yep, so I've gone for 4 selections in this one. I'm going for Liverpool to win. I'm predicting to win 3-1, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. Salah to score anytime, but also Salah to provide at least 1 assist. He's scored and assisted in 4 Premier League games this season and in 2 of his last 3 at home in the league. He's also scored 11 times against Manchester City in his career, making them his their fourth. Sorry, let me start that again. So he scored 11 times against Man City. They're his fourth favourite career opponents, and he's got 6 assists against them as well, which is second. So I've gone Salah to score any time and Salah to get an assist, and I've got Alexis McAllister to be carded. He's been shown a card in 6 of his last 10 Liverpool appearances. That is best price of 35-1 with Bet365, but as low as 28-1. So not a huge price difference, but if you stick a tenner on that, it's a difference between 280 or 350 quid if it comes in.
Yeah, that is literally doing my job for me. That's all the marketing required, is that huge price discrepancy. And as Ben can testify, I imagine it took him all of 4 seconds to pull that together and see that huge price difference. So yeah, go and use the tool because it's really worthwhile. Mine is a lot shorter, but I have gone for a Liverpool win, as I alluded to in my score prediction. Liverpool are undefeated in 25 of their last 26 home games against Manchester City, which obviously spans back through quite a lot of time. Liverpool are awesome this season. They are the form team in the world. They are coming up against strong opposition in Manchester City, but they are also coming in with completely contrasting form. And I think they get the job done. I've stolen one of your picks and I've gone for Mo Salah anytime. You've done pretty much all of the rationale for me. But yeah, 10 goals this season, 4 in his last 3 in the Premier League. I think he gets on the score sheet here. And as you mentioned, he loves playing against Manchester City. So that definitely helps. And my final one, I think I said these. I think I say this every time we do Man City bet builders. I really struggle to not include Haaland. So that's exactly what I've done. Erling Haaland over 2.5 shots. So just shots, not shots on target. He's averaging over 5 shots per game at the moment. So going for over 2.5 feels like quite a comfortable selection. This bet builder comes in at 11-2, but is as short as 3-1 elsewhere in the market. So although it's a lot shorter than Ben's, it still has quite a tasty price discrepancy. So whether you like any of my selections or you want to completely ignore them and go for your own, use the WhoScored.com bet builder tool, and you will get that best price that you desire. Huge game coming up, a very exciting weekend of football. Hopefully you've enjoyed this preview, and hopefully we'll see you again. Thanks very much for joining me, Ben. Oh, and one last thing, if you are placing bets, please make sure you are gambling in your means and are doing so safely, and most importantly, enjoy it. Enjoy the football, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, guys.